Our Shift or Die shirt has just been discounted to $24.99. You can pick it up right now in the Motorola Type merch store. You can also use promo code SHIFT to get an additional 10% off. We also just launched our first ever cloth face mask, featuring the same Shift or Die skull from the shirt, complete with shift pattern teeth. Get the shirt and the face mask right now in the Motorola Type merch store. The link to the mask and the shirt will be in the video description below. Alright, obviously this is not the type of game I typically cover, but we're living in strange times right now, so why not? I came to the conclusion that I was in need of a palate cleanser. With the exception of Forza Horizon 4, most of the racing games I play have a pretty serious tone. So running over porta potties with monster trucks is definitely a welcome change of pace. Going into this game, I wasn't expecting much other than having some fun without having to put too much thought into what I was doing. I wasn't playing this game to review it, hence this is not a review. Yeah, I know this is the second time in a row I've done that, but it's monster trucks, come on. I do have some criticisms, but I'll get to those later. For now, I'll briefly explain what Monster Truck Championship is all about. You start with a big truck, enter it into a championship, and try to win as many events as possible to win that championship. That's pretty much it. Simple and to the point. Within a championship, there'll be a variation of 5 different types of events. The first type is a traditional race. You just have to come in first, but since these are monster trucks we're dealing with, there are things like ramps and other obstacles on the course, along with a bunch of other monster trucks. The second type is time trial, which is just racing against the clock instead of trucks. The third event type is drag racing, but it's not what you think. These drag races are not flat, straight quarter-mile strips. Drag race courses in this game have jumps and other obstacles before rounding a switchback and racing back to where you started. I found these to be incredibly fun. You even have to get your launches right by making sure that you're in the optimal RPM range at the start of the race. The fourth event is freestyle. It's all about doing stunts and smashing stuff up to rack up as many points as possible before time runs out. Similar to a Tony Hawk game, there is a point multiplier for chaining different tricks together. The fifth event type is destruction. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's probably the reason why most people will buy this game. Just like freestyle, you're in a big arena and you have a set time limit to destroy as many objects as possible. You still get points for doing stunts, but there's not as many ramps to help you out with that. Now, I know I said this game is incredibly simple, but there are a few layers of the championship mode. As the player, you'll be responsible for things like upgrading your truck, but also your staff and securing the right sponsors. Certain staff members will give you gains in some areas, but losses in others. For example, a transmission tech may help you get faster acceleration, but you have to pay them, so they'll take a cut of your winnings. When it comes to sponsors, each one has a different expectation. If those expectations are met, then there are bonuses that can be earned. Another area where this game shows some depth is how the monster trucks handle. It's not as arcade-like as you might think. There are somewhat realistic physics involved. Furthermore, the way the trucks are controlled is unconventional. The left analog stick is used to turn, which is standard, but you can also use the right analog stick to turn the rear axle. This is especially useful when trying to take extra tight corners, but also comes into play when trying to do stunts like donuts. There's a training mode to help players get used to how it all works and teaches you how to execute stunts. Alright, now it's time to get to those few little criticisms I mentioned earlier. Overall, I had a lot of fun with the game, but there are a few things that are a little bit disappointing. First, because this game isn't licensed by any monster truck sanctioning body, it doesn't have any of the monster trucks that fans would know from real life series like Monster Jam. So no Bigfoot, no Gravedigger, etc. In fact, it doesn't have any licensed cars or trucks in it at all, just versions of real life cars but with different names. Second is the lack of some extra flashiness in the presentation and gameplay. I was expecting everything to be over the top, like the classic monster truck commercials I'd watch as a kid. There's a little bit of it, but it doesn't stick around. I was expecting fireworks to go off every time I hit a jump. Not only does that not happen, there isn't even music during the events. There is an announcer, but he doesn't sound like the over-caffeinated action movie trailer voice on steroids that I remember. There aren't even style points during races or drag races, which means there's no real reason to take any jumps or hit any ramps when you're doing a race because there's no objective reward for it. Other than those few gripes, I enjoyed my overall experience with Monster Truck Championship. I think it's the perfect thing to play whenever you want to take a break from the hardcore simulator stuff. So there you have it, my impressions of Monster Truck Championship. Do you have a favorite Monster Truck game? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more, subscribe to this channel and make sure you hit that notification bell so you know right away when new videos go live. Thanks for watching.